I'm Amanda Krager, Resource Development Manager with United Way Oxford. We're here today at the Women's Employment Resource Centre learning about the Food Forward program and how they're helping with their partners to provide food security to people across Oxford County.
Hey, I'm Cynthia Grant, and I'm the Program Coordinator for the Food Forward Oxford program. The purpose of this role is to move forward out of organic waste and into the hands of those who need it. So Food Forward, it's affiliated with the Women's Employment Resource Centre, who provides employment services for those who identify as women in Oxford County. Through those services, staff identify barriers for women and have increasingly been seeing food insecurity as one of the biggest barriers for them. This is where Food Forward Oxford was actually initiated. I think our impact has helped spread the word of food insecurity in our own communities and the current need, actually. For example, through a program called Second Harvest, we have been able to collect and distribute 41 rescues, 1,382 meals, which is a value of $3,905, which is equal to 3,850 pounds. We really are glad that we're starting to be able to get a lot more food out to the community, out to the people that provide the meals, that prepare the meals, and it's not going into the landfill, which is very important to us as well.
My name is Brian Smith, and I'm involved with a number of organizations, but in particular what I'd like to talk to you about today is about two groups that came together to send out over 350 meals every week to people who are in need of food, nutrition, and comfort. Yeah, so when COVID struck, it became difficult for Lunch Bunch, which was having 100 kids come into a basement hall, feeding them a full, hot meal, nutritious food, bussing them in, bussing them out at the end, so these kids have this great experience, have a fabulous meal, they know what's happening every Wednesday, and know that it's prepared by people who really care a lot for them. So that had to shut down, and then another program also in Ingersoll called the Stitch Supper Club, which was offering to families, anybody who wanted to come and sit down and have a good meal, free meal by donation. So those two programs had to close. And then the question was, what do we do to make sure that those people who need food, which at least we can provide, what can we do? So those two organizations got together, and they actually every week on a Wednesday produce over 350 meals, good, hot, wonderful meals. And then volunteers with the Kiwanis Club largely are delivering them to doorsteps in Ingersoll, Foldens, Thamesford, and other places around. And because Food Forward Oxford is finding us this free food, it means that the budget's going to go farther. It also means that we can make better nutritional choices because we know that we've got certain staples coming into us free. So we can say, hey, we can add that on, whereas otherwise we might have to go for something that maybe had less variety, less nutrition. So it really extends the time over which they can do this. It also has, to some extent, increased the quantity they can put in the containers. The containers are brimming with wonderful food. And it's because it's available. Let's make sure that it ends up in front of people who want the meal. Let's make sure it ends up providing nutrition to kids and families and the elderly as well. And it really means that we can address the fact that if you had added the Lunch Bunch crowd to the Supper Club crowd, you'd come up with a number somewhere about 250. So we're doing 100 additional meals. So it's really built our capacity to provide those meals.
My name is Bre Davies, and I'm the Executive Director of the Women's Employment Resource Centre here in Woodstock, and we offer employment services to anyone who identifies as a woman in Oxford County. So at the Women's Employment Resource Centre, we've been really fortunate to share some partnerships with the United Way really since about 2019, which in turn for us allowed us to offer more programs, services, materialistic things like tampons and school supplies to people in our community. So it's allowed us to make our outreach bigger than it has been in the past. Not only have we been able to apply for COVID funding, so the COVID Emergency Response Fund last year really helped us put food out to members of our community who were immediately impacted by COVID layoffs. So immediately felt like they couldn't pay a bill, and so if we helped with food, providing food along with Cycles of Life Community Outreach Table, between the two of us we could partner together and help individuals and families who were feeling the impact right away. So if you can take the financial piece of food off the table, literally or figuratively, then they could pay, say, a union gas bill instead of having to buy groceries. And so those were really important at the initial part of COVID. As COVID has continued on and on and on, we're seeing more individuals and families in Oxford County who are food insecure. This is a huge thank you to the United Way, to their donors, to anybody who supports the United Way, for everything that you've done to provide us the funds to be able to serve and give back to the public.